has fired Adam Cohen, the head of the Justice Department's Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Forces, in a widening purge of career officials. Cohen was dismissed on Friday.
Should politics be allowed to interact with how the law is enforced? Actively gutting the DOJ task force and trying to take forceful control over it, despite them already doing an excellent job at enforcing the existing laws and policies of the U.S. government. This issue comes to a head as Adam Cohen, a leader of the organized crime and drug trafficking departments of the DOJ. The role is to enforce laws against the trafficking and trade of drugs within the U.S., with operations extending far beyond the U.S. and even into places like Mexico and South America. This begs the question, if the DOJ was doing such a good job, why are they being cut apart like this? For those who don't know who or what Adam Cohen, and by extension the Department of Justice, are, let me give you a quick refresher. Adam Cohen is the head of the Organized Crime and Drug Trafficking Task Force. What this means is that he is in charge of leading many people underneath him in the war against drugs. This includes high-level investigations, crackdowns, and anything else that needs to be done to bring justice to drug cartels, mob families, and other forms of organized crime. No ordinary man is capable of rising to such a prestigious position. Yet, despite that, Cohen was excellent at his job, working on multiple high-profile cases, including efforts to destroy the Mexican drug cartel and mafia operations. During his tenure, the Drug Enforcement Task Force was able to initiate 947 new investigations, indict 10,308 defendants, and secure conviction for 8,082 of those individuals. All of this was within the 2019 fiscal year. This suggests that under his leadership, there was effective and efficient enforcement of DOJ policy. Because of this, his firing shocked his peers at the DOJ, who believed that his specific leadership was highly important to the success of the organized crime and drug trafficking force. Adam Cohen was fired by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. This took place shortly after Cohen co-authored a memo for Operation Take Back America. This was meant to be an initiative to help enforcement of border control laws and restrict the number of illegal immigrants in the country. Even after he promised to commit to what is a largely apolitical law enforcement initiative, he was still fired. The recency between the publishing of the memo and Adam's firing is likely not a coincidence. This suggests that Adam Cohen was punished for creating an initiative that would only help people. This incident aligns with a broader pattern at hand. As previously discussed, President Trump's government is removing officials from key positions. 3 assistant U.S. attorneys in New York were placed on administrative leave following their involvement in a corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Additionally, officials such as Pardon Attorney Liz Oyer and Freedom of Information Act Overseer Bobak Taliban were also dismissed. The firing happened recently within President Trump's current term as president. This may sound like unrelated information as of now. However, what you need to know is that Trump's current administration is known for its current reshuffling and restructuring of many government organizations like the DOJ. This idea is supported by leaked memos indicating that the Trump administration plans to cut 80,000 employees from Veterans Affairs. This is further supported by claims that they are trying to reassign roughly 20 attorneys out of their positions in the DOJ's Public Integrity section and elsewhere in the DOJ. This leaves only a few to manage the public corruption and election-related cases. This includes rehiring new people to act in high-ranking positions like FBI director, senior DOJ officials, and so on. Often they are forced to leave or outright fired when they are put under pressure from the new administration. This firing and its nature are unknown to us because the majority of the information is kept behind the closed doors of bureaucracy. However, There is a likelihood that this firing was likely influenced by Trump's current history of appointing loyalists in seats of power, such that he has a firmer control of the government and policy, which allows him greater freedoms than he would otherwise not be allowed to have. This provides Trump with many benefits. Additionally, with the pressure and conflict with things like the Mexican drug war, it may be ideal for Trump to try and take control of the situation using a loyalist. Because Adam Cohen is openly apolitical, this may have created a conflict of interest with Trump's goals, which were quickly rectified. If we continue to explore this idea, Trump may want to use the DOJ to enforce tighter policies and laws on the cartels and their activities. Because of that, he is replacing the current head of the drug enforcement divisions with a more loyal and steadfast leader who will enact Trump's will with extreme fervor. Under the new administration, the DOJ has become heavily politicized due to its role in the enforcement of anti-drug laws and other laws. Because of this, there is now special scrutiny being paid to the way that the DOJ operates on an administrative level. This itself is an issue because Trump and his policies often focus on populist rhetoric and more emotionally driven action. However, the DOJ is known for its thorough and methodical approach, which may make it come to a head with the ways that the current administration is being run, because the DOJ's way of operating emphasizes due process and actionable guilt and evidence whereas Trump emphasizes feeling emotion. The firing of such an important member of the DOJ, we can come up with a few ideas about how that will affect public perception of the justice system. Generally speaking, what we can expect is that this will result in a reduction in trust because it can make it feel like internal government politics might take precedence over the actual enforcement of the law. This may be compounded by Trump's general sensationalism, which might give the wrong impression to the public and reduce public trust in the system. Try to picture why an official who was shown to get results and do his job well is being pushed out of his position due to internal politics and greater forces in government deeming that it would be better and more convenient for them if he was replaced by someone else. This would understandably make you less trusting of the government, given that Cohen was already doing his job very well. And if politics had this much of an influence on the actual enforcement of laws, a largely impersonal and apolitical act, then it may be possible for political bias to spread throughout the legal system and infringe on the rights of the individual. Now, when I say that the legal system is apolitical, it must be clarified that the laws within the system are political because they were created within the context of the politics of their time by politicians. However, the way that those laws are enforced is apolitical because they are consequences of how those laws were implemented. By introducing politics in the enforcement of these laws, it can make them harder to rely upon because they cease to be easily understood and objective punishments for breaking the law. The firing of Adam Cohen is not just another routine personnel change. It is a deeply concerning move that signals a shift in how the DOJ is being reshaped under the Trump administration. Whether Cohen's dismissal was motivated by a desire for political loyalty, an ideological clash, or broader efforts to restructure the DOJ, the consequences remain the same: a disruption in the fight against organized crime and drug trafficking. By removing a proven leader in the field, the administration has not only weakened ongoing efforts to combat drug cartels, but has also raised serious concerns about political interference in law enforcement. If skilled, political officials like Cohen can be so easily replaced for reasons that remain unclear, what does this say about the future of the justice system? This event serves as a reminder that when politics meddles in law enforcement, it risks undermining public trust, damaging institutional integrity, and weakening the very structures designed to uphold justice. The question now is whether this is an isolated case or a sign of a broader trend that could reshape the DOJ for years to come.